Funny story. Did you know I used to be a humor columnist? Yep, I wrote a column called My Pet the Peeve for a comedy website that is now defunct. The column was all about, my pet peeves. In this video, I'm going to share with you my biggest pet peeve as a reader/writer. Consider this video my soapbox. So please stop doing this thing I'm going to share with you. I promise it will improve your writing. Let's go. I'm just going to cut right to the chase. There are two words that you never, ever, 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 ever need to use in your work, and they are proverbial and metaphorical. For example, it was a proverbial slippery slope, or I was brought to my metaphorical knees, or he grasped at the proverbial straw, or it was the metaphorical elephant in the room. No. Don't do it. Don't ever write any of those sentences. And here are 3 reasons why. Reason number 1, both of these words, proverbial and metaphorical, are unnecessary. I cringe whenever I read these words because they're just expendable. They're not doing anything in the sentence. They add no clarity, they add no nuance. They just tell the reader what the reader already knows. When you write, it was a proverbial slippery slope, no one actually thinks the person is sliding down a mountain. When you write, he grasped at a proverbial straw, no one actually thinks the character is trying to snatch up some straw. Do you think when you say there's an elephant in the room, the reader actually thinks, oh my gosh, there must be a massive circus animal in her house? Maybe a toddler would, my 4-year-old might. But the word proverbial isn't going to clear that up for him because he's still learning how to spell the word ball. The words proverbial and metaphorical are duplicative, and so they're expendable. And yet, I see them in published books fairly often. It astonishes me, it does. Second reason I want you to strike these words from your vocabulary is this, because they have no point. They're just big words, and because of that, they just kind of seem like you're trying to prove something. They seem only to be there to say, hey, look, like, I know this big word. It's an authorial flex that is far from subtle. In fact, I find them awkward in the same way it would be awkward for someone to ask you to feel how hard their abs are, right? Like, okay, this feels very needy. Okay, before I tell you the last and truest reason why cutting these words out of your writerly vocabulary will be one of the best things you've ever done for it, quick invitation. I have a free private group for writers working on books where once a month I host a live event where I plan out the first third of a new novel from scratch. It's super fun. It's like improv meets novel writing, and you can join this event, 30,000 words in 30 minutes, watch Mary plan the first third of a novel from scratch at the link below this video. Back to it. Okay, final and truest reason to strike these words from your vocabulary as a writer is that it pulls the reader out of the story. Okay, reason number 2 was a little bit of a joke, but reason number 1 was real, and this reason number 3 is super real. I think that these words pull the reader out of experiencing the story you are telling. They are a way of inserting yourself as the author into the text, as if to say, like, hey, you know that thing I just did right there? That was a metaphor, and I know it. And meanwhile, the reader is thinking, yeah, and now I'm not really experiencing it because you're like over there waving your hands at me, wanting me to acknowledge that you know that you're using a metaphor, right? So in sum, if you're a writer who is tempted to describe a swollen thumb as a metaphorical hot dog or the sky as a proverbial ocean of blue, remember, none of your readers would actually think that your thumb is made of bologna or that the world is upside down. They're smarter than that. And you can leave out the disclaimer because putting it in there really just distracts them from the story that you're trying to tell and that we want them to remain immersed in. Hey, are you writing a book or want to write a book? Because if so, I have something for you. A few years ago, I created the 4 notebooks method. This is my process for handwriting a novel across 4 notebooks. It's my strategy to map out your story structure in a way that doesn't lock you into an outline or suck all the freedom out of the writing process. If you'd like to learn this method and get a free digital template for writing your novel in 4 notebooks, go to the link below this video. because to get the template, you just have to apply for my program, the Book Incubator. It's only 2 questions to apply, takes under 5 minutes, and you'll get the template right away, whether you want to join or not. There's no pressure to enroll. So just click below, tell me a little bit about you and your book or your book idea. I'm excited to hear from you.